Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, I'm going to do an update, or a part 3 if you will, to a video I did a few weeks ago, which was titled, My Friend Needs Help. His wife manipulated him into an open marriage. And as a quick recap, because it's been a few weeks, that's all about the guy. He has this friend that he likes hanging out with. They have a good time together, but the guy is totally and completely pee-whipped. Not to mention, obviously, very blue-pilled. And this guy really wanted to know, he was asking me if he thought he should help him out, expose him to this type of material, because the guy, he was married to, or is presently married to, a woman who's a total stereotypical modern effeminist. She's got the tattoos, I believe, the colored hair changes every week, that attitude bosses the guy around. The guy's a complete and total wet puppy. And to add another thing to the list, she demanded an open marriage, which of course this guy obliged. Her rules. She's out hooking up with dudes left and right. Well, meanwhile, he isn't doing anything. And he wanted to know, should he help him out? So I gave my advice on that one and explained, you can try to help him out, but it may come back to bite you in the butt because you're going to say things you may not want to hear, etc., etc. Part 2 was about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, in which he told me an update in which he was with that guy, and because technically it's supposed to be an open marriage, he was out with him at a bar or club, got that guy to hook up with a girl who was a known town carousel rider, which got that guy some experience, but the problem is that type of guy is not going to be able to handle a carousel rider, not to mention the fact that probably we don't want him to catch something. And lo and behold, this guy's crazy wife shows up at his house screaming and yelling, making a big scene, bringing drama into this guy's life. And so his so-called friend obviously threw him under the bus, blabbed to his wife, and eventually she left, and she even tried to put the moves on him. Can you believe that? But he didn't do it. And so he was wondering my opinion. And I said at that point, cut this guy off. This guy, he's bringing drama and turmoil into your life. She shows up at your house, screaming, yelling, bringing a whole bunch of drama, which he, by the way, recorded her doing, by the way, which was pretty ingenious. And some people said in the comments, like, hey, that gives her what she wants. Well, you know what? Life is short. We don't need that kind of drama. And also, that guy wasn't a very good friend if he obviously blabbed and threw you under the bus. So I said, cut him out of your life. You tried. And if that guy ends up breaking up with her and divorcing her, then maybe give him another chance if he apologizes. So we are going to do part 3, or an update here, to see where things have gone since then. And things have definitely been interesting. So he starts off, or continues, he says, hey SSM, I'd like to address some of the comments on your last video, and then yes, as you predicted, I do have some updates after all. Yeah, I told the guy in the last video this is not over, especially with that wacko gal that showed up at his house. It says, first, I have no doubt, as you said, Mandy is the code name for the crazy wife, Mandy's comment about being turned on was a tactic, and I'm more than half convinced it was her plan in coming over all along. Otherwise, why come in person? It would have been easier just to yell at me over the phone. In the video, she came to his house, literally practically forced her way into his house, which he shouldn't let her do, screaming and yelling at who does he think he is and all that, getting her husband to go hook up with other women, even though they're supposed to be an open marriage. And eventually, after she realized she couldn't get him to scream and yell like her, she pretty much said, are you turned on as much as I am? Essentially trying to get this guy, to seduce this guy. He didn't go along with it, thank God. And I suspected she did that on purpose to entrap him. Whether it was because she was truly attracted to me, or she wanted to get back at me by telling her husband, my friend Bart, that I seduced her, or she wanted to use it as leverage over me to back off my friendship with him, or some combination. But whatever her motives, I also think it was a way of bringing me down. If she could seduce me, I would lose any high ground I might have to criticize her and the way she treats him. Yes, do not spend any time with her at all going forward, man. If she shows up on your property, tell her to get off, or you're calling the cops. Do not engage her in any way. She is trouble. And yes, one could argue, well, then she wins. Well, this so-called friend of his is not a real friend in my opinion, so who cares? Next, those suggesting I sent the video to Bart or even post it publicly somewhere, I appreciate the temptation to do so, but I won't without cause. One of the things of being an RP man is not to let women drag down your character. Each of us, as men, must develop a code of honor and live by it no matter what happens. It is by that, as well as other things that SSM and others talk about, staying on your purpose, eating healthy, working out, etc., that maintains our pride, integrity, and self-worth. Yes, I agree. We have to have a code. That makes us men, and that sets us apart from the other jackasses out there. One of the things in my code of honor is that I never ever share or publish any of the video or audio recordings I make of my interactions with the gals. This is a bitch-ass move, or that is a bitch-ass move, and I won't lower myself. Not unless or until it becomes necessary to defend myself against false accusations. I also won't automatically assume that she'll be dishonest and make such accusations. As much experience as I've had with the gals doing so, to act preemptively doesn't give her the chance to do the right thing for her own code of honor, should she live by one. They rarely do, but you must afford them the chance to, just as you would expect anyone else to give you that chance. Also, I value nothing so much as peace and freedom from entanglements, and that means doing my best to steer clear of this drama. Sharing that video when I don't need to would only drag me deeper in. Yeah, I 100% agree. This guy's he's talking about the footage. He has actual security feeds in his house and around his property in case any things go down, any problems, and he has this all on video. And I agree. Just keep it to yourself unless need be, because you don't need more drama in your life. And this is why I told you they need to cut this guy off. It's time. It's done. Life is short, guys. We all know darn well who are the ones that like to have drama in their lives to make it exciting and interesting. We don't need that. Or at least, I don't know any masculine man that needs drama in his freaking life. The feminine guys, they love drama because, well, let's be honest, they've been conditioned to behave like you know who. And you know who, they love drama. The masculine men don't need drama, peace and quiet and easy. And that means you have very few people that you hang out with, so be it. You can have a lot more peace on your own property with your dog or your cats or whatever it is, and hanging out with maybe a couple people that are drama-free just like you. I am already alert to what the commenter said, that she may try to trump up false charges on me. So I did kick off a quick DM to her saying simply that I have video surveillance outside and inside the house, no implications, just information. Yes, that sort of violates what I said above about giving her the chance to do the right thing, but this was private message from me to her, no outside parties. And in this case, my priority of my peace trumps giving her that chance. Well, flip a coin on that one, but, well, you're going to see what happens there. My advice is don't have any communication with her whatsoever at this point. None. Now the updates. First, something a little bit funny. I went back and looked at the exterior footage of Mandy leaving the house in tears. Remember, she ran out of there crying because he rejected her? She ran to her car, then glanced back to see if I would follow after her. When she saw that I didn't, her cry face immediately went away. He said, I never saw any tears, though it wasn't an ideal angle, and she just got in the car and drove away. Translation, just like a 5-year-old that can whip up tears and start crying like that, and it's obviously BS, and then all of a sudden can turn off the waterworks like that, so did she. Which goes to show is a total act, as I predicted. He says, next, SSM, you may have been right about being a mistake to introduce Bart to Daria, the experienced banana bouncer. He is now convinced he's in love with her. Smack. Hooks up with her one time, a carousel rider, just so he can get some experience. Actually participate in this open marriage thing, and he's in love with her. Oh my God. And it looks like she's going to take advantage. She's doing nothing to discourage him in his feelings. Daria did tell me that after Lily throwing herself at him on the dance floor, when they got to her place, he was so passive she had to practically drag him into the bedroom. Sounds like a typical nice guy, a typical clueless nice guy. When she asked him what was wrong, he said, now listen to this, I just want you to feel respected. I don't want to assume anything. I don't want to take advantage. I mean, come on, dude. Can you be any more beta? There you go. But one could argue, given how things are nowadays, one could argue he's trying to protect himself. Because sadly, those questions match up exactly the type of thing. Just making sure that you want to do this to protect himself. The guy is so solidly blue pill, I think he's hopeless. And I guess I've made it worse. It's not your problem. I told you that from the beginning. It's not your problem. You tried to help him, and he threw you under the bus. And his wife shows up on your property screaming and yelling at you. If he's that clueless about women, gets taken advantage by his wife and other people. He needs to go through this. He needs to go through this until finally he goes through enough pain and hurt and humiliation that he wakes up like the rest of us, right? We've all been there, and sees the light and then changes. But you tried. I wouldn't concern yourself anymore with his crap. It says here, he would have been better off with one user in his life, and now he's got two. He has no intentions of leaving Mandy, and Daria is telling him not to. But Mandy is demanding he's not seeing Daria anymore. Even if promised Mandy to close the marriage again, I doubt if she stops seeing the guys she's sleeping with. She only wants Bart to stop. And this is what simping gets you. You are in thrall of any effing wench who comes along and wants something from you. You'll never know a moment's peace. Yeah, no surprise she'll probably want to close up the open marriage because he's now actually seeing someone and she has competition. But she ought to know her husband well enough to know that he's obviously the way he is, and some other gal will just take advantage of him. But this guy's obviously so worn down. He's so worn down, he's so brainwashed, and that's why you initially wanted to help him in the first place, but you realize that he maybe in a way is helpless. You tried, and look what he did to you. I wouldn't waste your time anymore, man, until he ends it with her completely, apologizes, and is willing to listen to you. Until then, he has to go through all this shit, to be taken advantage of, made a fool of, until he finally wakes up. Some guys are that way. It's just is how it is. Now next, Bart became aware of me distancing myself from him and gave me a call to ask what was going on. He said, Mandy is really pissed at you for some reason, and you aren't talking to me. Did something happen between you two? Oh no, she's mad at me. Who cares? I only said, ask your wife. This, of course, acknowledged that something did indeed happen between us, which even more information than I wanted to share. But I couldn't just leave him hanging. He asked several more times and even got a little angry, speculating that what happened between us was sexual. To which I said, nope, that isn't it. And he says here, this is his so-called friend, not that I would mind, he said, but you should be upfront about it. Smack. Not that I'd mind. In other words, not that I'd mind that you'd have relations with my wife because we're in open marriage. You're supposed to be his friend. He wouldn't mind if you were D'ing down his wife. See, this guy is so far gone. It's just, as Yoda said, once you go down the dark path, forever will dominate your destiny. Well, he has gone to the dark side. He's gone to the simp side. He probably ain't coming back, and it's going to dominate his destiny. That's not it, I said again. After more pushing, he said, whatever. He said whatever. What is he, a 16-year-old high school girl? And then started warning me to look out, that she's really, really mad. He's rarely seen her so mad. When I laughed it off, he went on to tell me stories about what she's like. I think trying to scare me. About how her temper and what she's done to guys who's pissed her off in the past. Lighting cars on fire, leaving panties in a boss's car for his wife to find, using a liar to burn foul language on a guy's lawn, etc. None of which he's ever been prosecuted for. And this dumb mother effer not only married her, but he's still with her knowing this information. And yeah, she's never been prosecuted for any of this. Come on. He says, I'm putting this next part in brackets, SSM, in case you don't want to read it to your viewers. I'm going to read it anyway. He told me how she loved this movie called Salo, The 120 Days of Sodom. If you don't know this film, SSM, I wish I didn't. I don't recommend you go looking for it. It's Italian, I think. It's an absolutely despicable, near-snuff film involving all sorts of awful things, which I can't say here in this channel, which he's saying right here. Literally, the last 20 minutes of the film depicts more awful stuff. Hot irons applied to body parts and all sorts of other crazy stuff. It's just a movie, but still it's not something you want in your head. Bart told me how it was Mandy's comfort film, that she'd have it playing in the background of on her phone while chatting with people, etc. That's how sick this chick is. Well, now you're all going to go look that up, so knock yourselves out. So yeah, she's a wacko. And either he's making this up, or she's doing that to scare him, keep him in line, or she is that much of a wacko. All the more reasons to leave this broad. Now, of course, this might all be just stories. Mandy may have even put Bart up to this to make me paranoid. It seems unlikely to me that she could burn someone's car or lawn without any repercussions. But I took that very real threat anyway. Better safe than sorry. I started recording the call and prompted Bart to repeat everything he said in a subtle way so he didn't catch on. All this and the prior video is going to a thumb drive and into my safe deposit box just in case. Yeah, never can be too careful. Now stop talking to this guy. I then told Bart to never call me again and deal with his business himself. Don't involve me, and I hung up. Thank you. Thank you, brother. You'll be happy you made this decision. This guy's bringing nothing but turmoil into your life. You don't need this shit. I don't know if she has anything planned for me, but I'm keeping my head on a swivel, as they say. I'm also debating whether I ought to give Daria a heads up as well, or if I'm overreacting, playing right into Mandy's plan to put wedges between Bart and I and Bart and Daria. Do not get involved. All this because I had the gall to try to just hint to her husband about how he was being used and abused. And she's pissed after I told her about the video surveillance because she realized she had no leverage to control me the way she controls him. This is the kind of escalating rage you can expect from these spoiled, entitled effinists. I wouldn't say they're all to this extreme, because this is quite the extreme, but there's different degrees of it. Yeah, a guy's got to watch himself. Especially now, and you all know what I'm referring to, as it's been a couple days since you all know. And last update for now, I got an email from someone. It was given a letterhead and used official sounding language and appeared to be from Mandy's lawyer. In short, it demanded that I turn over any electronic recordings of Mandy to her and delete any copies I had myself, threatening legal action if I didn't. I was suspect of this email because I happen to know the laws in my state regarding such things. I mean, I'm not stupid. I looked the statutes up long ago before this. In my state, one party need know that a recording is being made. Both parties do not need to be consent. Nevertheless, I sent the email to my lawyer. Yeah, there are states in this country, guys, that if you record someone without their knowledge, your ass is grass, okay? I believe there's like 10 of them in this country. I know Massachusetts is one, which, shocker, I live here. California's another. I think Montana. In fact, in a video I did for the other channel, they did what the other day? It involved something like that, where I actually somebody sent me a list of all the states. So before you go recording anything to protect yourselves, make sure you're in a state where you're not going to be prosecuted or come after for having recording on somebody's knowledge. Or maybe one day that will become against that law. She told me the lawyer told me the letter was bogus and that she was 99.9% convinced that it wasn't even written by an attorney. While attorneys are known to send such threatening letters to intimidate people, it costs them nothing. There are certain legal terms, turns of phrase, and even required ways of stating things that make such letters legit. And this person had distinctly missed every single one. It was clearly someone trying to pretend to be a lawyer. I asked her if this wasn't illegal. Couldn't the person get in trouble for that? She said, well, yes, but the bar isn't liable to prosecute someone for sending such a letter. Now, if they tried to appear in court or file any official paperwork while impersonating a lawyer, then they would be prosecuted. But she told me that either way, I was safe deleting the email and ignoring it. So his crazy wife sent you this email pretending to be an attorney to hand over that video surveillance. Instead, I wrote a response. I made up some official letterhead of my own and made everything look just as official, though I was careful not to claim to be a lawyer. In the body of the email was one word: no. Anyway, SSM, I now suspect there might be another update coming. Yes, there will be. I'm now on the radar of someone who sounds like a psycho, capable of anything, and it doesn't sound like this that she's going to let things go. Or at least she wants me to think she is. If you don't hear from me again, it was all bogus and she was toying with me. We'll see. Well, bro, the saga continues. I do foresee many updates to this thing. But like I said before, done with him and don't engage her. Even writing back to her in that thing where you said no, pretending to be a lawyer, that's engaging her. Don't give her anything. From this point on, do not do anything. And if it escalates, okay, you got a lawyer that's aware already of a problem with somebody harassing you, and you can take legal action, okay? But I would be on your guard. Make sure your surveillance is running all the time on your property so someone doesn't show up and set your car or grass on fire or something like that. Just be careful, because there are wackos out there, but that dude isn't your problem, so cut him off. As much as I would love to hear updates, and we all would, and it's all entertaining, I don't want anything to happen to you, and you need this shit in your life. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, also, if you got a really good story you'd like to share, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com, whether it's for a quick question, an Ask SSM type of video, or a full-blown story that we all love to hear. I'd like to hear about it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.